after the top of the first inning?
The game was over in the first. It was over in the first. I know it only gave up 3 runs, and I know Padres ended up scoring 5 or whatever it was, but like that game was over right away. And I mean, to be real here, Blake Snell is not a good pitcher. I'm sorry. I wouldn't trust him in any big game situation. If the playoffs started tomorrow, dude is out of the rotation, not even on the playoff roster. To me, he is the most frustrating watch in all of baseball. Now, I probably am biased in that sense because I watch so much Padres baseball, but it's hard to find another pitcher as annoying to watch as Blake Snell. Find me another pitcher, like a starting pitcher, not a reliever, right? Find me another starting pitcher who is as annoying to watch as this guy. He's a train wreck. He's a mental train wreck. Every time he's on the mound, it seems like he nibbles. He doesn't attack the zone. He's always out there, thinking too much. It is a horrible watch. And, I personally have said do not trade any starting pitching. I still would not trade any starting pitching. But if you told me right now you could replace Blake Snell with another bat, I would probably do it. I probably think about doing it. I mean, this had to have been, and there's been other moments, but it's for me a potential tipping point as far as like I'm done. I'm done with this guy. He could have a couple good outings, but this is who Blake Snell is. A guy that throws a million pitches and is never going to look like Cy Young Snell from 2018. Won't happen ever again.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of what you said is how a lot of Padres fans feel, and I don't disagree with anything you said. I mean, you can't pitch like that when you're pitching once a week. I mean, that's the other thing. You're getting extra days off. You had a month and a half of ramp-up time in April and May. He was coming off a good outing. He was in St. Louis, but this was an embarrassment.
Joke,
I mean, I'm really surprised. If Jay Stingler was the manager and it was last year, he wouldn't have made it out of the first inning. You don't throw 43 pitches in an inning. That's unheard of in 2022. I mean, for them, honestly, I give Bob Melvin a lot of credit, basically being like, listen, you're going to wear it now. I mean, if we're not going to win this game, we're not going to use 8 innings of relief. You're going to get through as many innings as possible. I mean, shoot, he started the 5th inning in this game somehow, but it's the same old story where it's just, 95 pitches in 4 innings. That's also unheard of. 24 pitches per inning.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable.
It's just because we're talking about Snell and like I see people in the chat, overreaction. Like, really? To what you saw from Blake Snell? Tell me you haven't seen that multiple times this year and last year. Because, Snell said, hey, it'll take me a couple starts to get back into rhythm, and I'm going to dominate. Really? I mean, buddy, you are the odd man out here. Like, by far, the odd man out in this rotation is not even close.
I mean, it could be an overreaction, to be fair. I mean, it's true. The years are long for a reason. I mean, he could, even at this point, he could.
I'm not overreacting to the loss. No, I'm not overreacting to the loss. Like, it happens. Like,
you're over. Okay. Yeah, you're reacting to his.
I'm reacting to Snell. Outing. Specifically Blake Snell. And that is the Blake Snell we have seen way too much in a Padres uniform. For all the talk that he does about how he's going to dominate and his stuff is wild and his, sliders, he's all this blah, 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 blah. Like, shut up, dude. Go out there and perform. And you haven't done it yet. You haven't. So stop talking, okay? Stop telling Kevin AC that you're going to dominate out there. And why don't you put together a couple good months first before you start talking about that? That's what frustrates me the most, is that you got an entire pitching staff who was ready to go at the start of the season, and you weren't, buddy. Like, you weren't ready. And then you got hurt, and then you were out for a long period of time. You came back. You've had 1 good start since you've returned, and 3 really bad starts total. It's like, yeah, great. He had a great month last year in August. Then he got hurt. But majority of his season last year was crap. And now we're seeing the same thing again. And it hasn't changed.
Let's get to...
Thank you for the super chat. Can you see all that, John?
Yeah, I actually can.
Okay. He says, trade Snellzilla effing immediately. Nah, I don't think that. I don't. I'm saying, like, if you told me you could replace him with a bat right now, I would strongly consider it. But just to trade him, like, no.
Well, that's the thing. It's like the reason you wouldn't sign Joe Musgrove to an extension right now is like he'll never have more value than he does right now. And the
Right.
reason you wouldn't trade Blake Snell right now is because you'd be trading an all-time low. I mean, he's a former Cy Young Award winner that is 4 starts into a season. Obviously, his value isn't what it was, even a year ago or even last August. He's under control through 2023, so maybe there's some value there. He's not making a fortune of money, something like 15
No.
million per year, which for a starter isn't crazy.
I think he's making 16.
16.
Right?
I mean, that's not crazy. I think ultimately he probably can pitch more effectively somewhere. I don't know if it's San Diego. I don't know if it's him. I don't
I
know
don't
if it's
know.
a confluence. I don't know if it's a confluence of things, but um, outside of last August, he's been a bad pitcher in a Padres uniform. August, he was really good. Outside of last August, he's been a bad pitcher in a Padres uniform. There's still time to turn that around, but this was not encouraging. I mean, from bases loaded and he's ahead 0-2 to
And
losing
walks,
that batter, 3 walks in that first inning. He was just
bruh.
so hittable tonight too. He was just so hittable, and I mean, it can happen. It happens
Right.
with good pitchers and bad pitchers, but it's not encouraging.
But like, nothing has given you hope that he can turn it around and be a solid, effective starting pitcher for your team for longer than maybe just like 5 starts. I mean, 5 starts in August, maybe more, but still 1 month. And like you said, besides that 1 month, he's been abysmal. It's been a horrendous watch. Like, Manny made an error tonight. It wouldn't have surprised me if that error was cause and effect of playing behind Blake Snell tonight.
Right.
Like, just he puts the defense to sleep. He's slow. He doesn't work fast. He nibbles nibble is like an understatement with this guy. He doesn't throw strikes. It seems like he doesn't trust his stuff. And if he last year there was the excuse that he couldn't throw to anybody besides Nola. Whoa. You okay?
Stay with me. I'm going to try to go back to Wi-Fi.
And he threw to Alfaro tonight. If he's going to try to use an excuse of, well, the catcher and I were on the same page, that's bullshit, and I don't want to hear that. And I definitely don't want to hear anything about how he felt his stuff is good and is going to take him a couple more starts and blah 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 blah. So at this point, like, a loss is a loss. It happens. They're facing the best team in baseball record wise tonight. The Mets are a freaking good team. Made a little bit of a comeback there, but the game was over the second Snell stepped on the mound in that first inning. It's just like, what you're going to get from Snell after the first. And, and tonight was horrendous. It was the worst first inning for probably any starter in all of baseball this year.
Yeah, it could have been. I mean, the fact
Pitches-wise.
that they scored 5 runs, I mean, they were left for dead. You figure the game's over at 5-1, and then it's 5-2. They get a run, and then it's 7-2. Obviously, as you've talked about, they've struggled mightily at home scoring. I mean, they do get the Voit home run. For a moment, it felt as if maybe they could find a way to get even in this game. I mean, it would have literally been stealing if they won this game. But then, that 9th inning. I mean, look at this game. This is a game you throw out. I mean, you completely throw this game out.
Oh,
Blake Snell put the bullpen in a bad spot. Stammen was bad. Hill was bad. Wilson was good. I mean, you just completely throw this game out and say, let's bounce back and win tomorrow. And if you're Blake Snell, you completely throw this game out and you say, what do I need to do to put myself in a position where I can help this team win? And
he's not doing it.
He's not doing. I mean, he had two decent starts. The start in St. Louis, he had a home start where he went 5 1/3 innings, allowed 2 runs, but the other 2 starts in Philadelphia was bad, and this was even worse. I mean, this honestly did surprise me. I didn't think at home he'd pitch like this, and he did. How many hits did they have in this game? 16. That's crazy.
Some dude who had the cycle in the team. Eduardo Escobar. Good job, everybody.
Right? And he had a triple in that 8th or 9th inning. That's unbelievable. 4 for 5 with 6 RBIs. That's unbelievable.
More super chats here from Austin. Thank you, Austin.
Thanks, Austin.
You can trust every starter in this rotation to perform well, but Snell, he is so inconsistent. Need to trade him this offseason. I don't disagree with that. Offseason. In season, though, I probably would keep him just as like a break glass in case of emergency type of situation late in the season if someone gets hurt.
Why not
But
just move? I mean, why not just, you know what? Like, this is the whole point of competition. If you have 7 starters, why don't you just put them in your bullpen?
who
I mean,
would you
who's more
rather
deserving?
who would you rather have right now, chat?
Well, Nick Martinez.
Starting Nick. Okay, so yeah, Nick Martinez
Yeah.
or Blake Snell.
Well, yeah, yeah. Oh, you're saying that for the chat. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, who's going to say Snell right now? I mean, Nick Martinez
Nobody.
has been pretty effective all year. I mean, he's had some moments where he hasn't been great, but he's been unbelievable out of the Padres bullpen. So maybe that's a reason to keep him in the Padres bullpen. But no, I think he's earned the opportunity to start for this team. And Blake Snell really hasn't. I mean, he could re-earn it.
He's probably sitting there like, really? This guy's starting over me?